The Clintons sent two extraordinary letters to Chairman Comer today. If you haven't read them, I recommend them to you. They're like from an Aaron Sorkin script. One is from the Clintons themselves, or at least on their letterhead, and then one from their attorneys, basically saying this is a phony attempt to get us to speak to Congress. And they won't do it on the matter of Jeffrey Epstein. They say they don't have any information, that they're being singled out and treated unfairly, that it's not consistent with Congress's need to only subpoena people who can further some legislative responsibility. And they also mentioned the Trump, everything Donald Trump's done, not everything, but things Donald Trump's done that they don't like. And now either the Comer will go to the Justice Department and they'll try to get President Clinton held up on contempt of Congress, where he could serve a year in jail. Or perhaps the Clintons will go to court rather than write a letter and try to quash the subpoena. And it's possible that a court would agree with them that this is not a legit subpoena. Mark, do you have a sense of where this will head?
Well, Jamie Comer is going to pursue this as far as he can. This is very clearly going to go to a contempt of Congress vote.
Yeah.
Uh, Defying a subpoena, we kind of gets bogged down in the rules of the House, the rules of the Congress. But within DC, being held in contempt of Congress is not a badge of honor. That is not a good thing. I don't see how the Clintons would want that, to have that on their record. So I could see that Jamie Comer and the Speaker and all of House Republicans, they're going to pursue this. They're going to try to get them to compel them to testify.
Yeah. Of course, the Democrats for contempt of Congress put Steve Bannon and what's his name? Peter Navarro in jail.
And
The
for the
Clinton,
record, some Republicans voted in support of those
yeah,
motions
yeah,
too, and they
yeah,
should be
that's
remembered
right.
for that.
And President Clinton is a former president, so there are some elements of the law that treat former presidents differently, as the Clintons' lawyers pointed out in their letter. We've never had a president compelled to testify before Congress. Gerald Ford did voluntarily, but that's a separation of powers issue of former presidents, not just current presidents. This could play out slowly, as most of these things typically, but it could also play out very quickly. Melissa, the Clintons have lawyered up. One of the lawyers they hired used to work for Comer in the committee. They also have David Kendall, who's been their lawyer for 25 years or something. Do you anticipate this coming to a head in some way, or being negotiated as some sort of deal?
No, I mean, I think it'll get dragged out and I think it'll end up coming to a head. Because I agree that I think that Congress views this as a winning issue for them. It's a way to keep the Epstein issue about Bill Clinton and Democrats
Yeah.
and Trump or Melania or whatever else people are surmising based on the redactions. And so I think that they think it's a good issue for them. And because of exactly what you just said, that previously Democrats held Steve Bannon and others in contempt of Congress for defying a subpoena. They feel like they've
Yeah.
got to stand on. And I think it's going to end up getting tested in court.
Yeah, two things, and this may be uncomfortable for some, but two things about the Clintons' letter. First of all, they alluded to photos that they predicted that the committee would release that would be embarrassing to President Clinton, above and beyond the ones that have already been released. And then second, they kind of said, it's not explicit, but the meaning seems pretty clear. They basically said, you're trying to bring out things about Bill Clinton's personal life that have nothing to do with the oversight function of how were the criminal investigations into Epstein and Maxwell conducted, which the Clintons say, and there's no evidence to the contrary. They don't know anything about that. There was no investigation. Hillary Clinton was never a law enforcement officer or Secretary of State. She would have had no oversight over that. And Bill Clinton was no longer president by the time the investigations began. So here's my question. If Bill Clinton somehow was forced to testify, because the choice was testify or go to prison, and the question was this, how would you prepare him to answer this question? Please, Mr. President, look at Exhibit 42, a picture of you with a woman in a swimming pool. When was that hot tub? When was that taken? What were the circumstances? What would you have him say?
I mean, what is the relevance to your line of questioning? I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it really gets to, right? Like Jeff Berman, there's no more serious attorney in this country than Jeff Berman. And my ex-mother-in-law, Audrey Strauss, who took over the Southern District when they were doing the investigation into Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. And if there was something there with Bill Clinton or with Donald Trump, I promise you, they would have pursued it. And so this is not.
But again, I don't. I think that what the Clintons are saying is we didn't do anything illegal. We don't know anything about the
That's what I'm saying. This
criminality.
is just an
But
exercise in embarrassing that.
right, but my point is, if he has to go in, if they cannot, if the choice is jail or
When it
testifying,
say that,
no, but can't he just say to any of these personal things that's got nothing to do with your investigation?
I think
So
if
that
it's
is a really comfortable hot tub.
Yeah,
Is that
well,
where is that his
yeah,
place he's going to play? I guess.
yeah. I just think that
jail or that, and he was my client, I would recommend go and sit and say that.
yeah,
Going and sitting in jail. But I
right.
think that they'll fight it until it comes to the point where that ends up being the option.
Right. Okay. Friends of Cozy Earth would like you to enjoy a 20% discount, courtesy basically of me. Go to cozyearth.com, promo code two-way, 20% off the bubble cuddle blanket, the sheets, the towels, and the glorious pants that you can wear anywhere. Comfortable, stylish, and I couldn't recommend them more. Right now, go to cozyearth.com, start the new year off right, and give your home the luxury it deserves. Make it the home the best part of life. Head to cozyearth.com, use the promo code two-way, get 20% off. The post-purchase survey will give you an opportunity to say Mark Halpern sent you. And again, this applies to everything on the site. The bubble cuddle blanket, the luxurious sheets. Right now, they've got a Baja bedding set. It's their first collection to have a complete matching set. Everything you could imagine buying to make it to a part of your bedroom. Reversible design, premium fabric, timeless colorways. Perfect set to create your own resort-inspired haven at home. Who wouldn't want that? Luxury bath towels, the bubble cuddle blanket. Lose yourself in the luxury of that thingy. Again, go to cozyearth.com, promo code two-way for 20% off. Refresh your routines with comfort that makes every day feel like a new year. They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America. And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and two-way tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.